of 30-10. 1884. As we mentioned, just want to practice really, taking time, finding the better moves. Familiar with this position, I don't see any problems with doing the attack in the centre. Not wanting to try anything new, anything different. It all depends on what the opponent does. And again, I'm just going to capture here. Definitely want to have that pause moment before I actually move the piece and spot that magic position of, oh, I had a better move, and actually take the better move rather than looking after I've moved and then gone, oh, I could have done. See how we get on with that sort of practice. We're probably still going to fall for it, because we may stop, look and go, ah, that's a better one, and then when we've made the better move, we go, oh, we had a better move. So it's probably going to be a vicious chain of events that's going to start kicking in. We're attempting to build our chess stamina. We will be playing the blitz stuff as well in between, and little bits of bullet type thing, just to keep my hand in on that side of the chess world. But our main focus is on the long play, not rushing anything, not rushing the opponent in my head, not going, come on, just make a move type thing. So we get to double the pawns. We strike first blood, or we can develop more pieces out. They've got 2 out, stealthily developing. Yeah, they're not developing big. We do get to double the pawns, which is striking first blood. But people are happy with doubling the pawns because it gives them a cluster of pawns towards the centre. But on this occasion, I'm thinking taking that knight is going to be good enough. It's striking first blood for us. So we've worked long and hard with the doubling the pawns psychology. So it is a weakness. So we've struck first blood. Need to make space for our king for castling. I do like to bring the bishop here. No, it's not doing anything, but if they fall asleep and stuff, we can swing here and stuff like that. Obviously, it's not going to happen because the knight needs to come out to make space for their castling. We'll be looking to just develop. And this is where the tunnel vision sets in, where I'm doing this type of calculation in my head, where, oh well, if they do this, then we do that. But sometimes there's a better move than that. Queen's blocked at the minute, so we could go with the pawn, but it's blocking our queen, so I'm not going to do that. Not even paid any attention to my the classical rating on here. It's in the 1700s. Last time I saw it, had question marks on it. Looks like they've put us at 1700. Scary. Yep, so the knights come out as we said, and we said we were going to basically bring our knight here. It's the normal course of events. But because their queen is blocked, it's not going to be putting a check on our king. So we could push the pawn here, just that it does block the queen from getting active towards their king area. So we will continue with just developing the knight here, supporting the pawn, but it's also developing the piece. I think they'll just go rushing castling now, feeling happy they've castled, sitting back waiting for us to overextend. there's a lot of this going on where people are just sitting back waiting for people to overextend and make mistakes. You see the higher rated players doing that, and people are falling for it. You know, they're really going in there, really aggressive, really attacking. But at some point, you're going to have to make some sort of forward motion. You're going to have to make some sort of inroads in the game if you're still wanting to play the game of chess. So it's choosing those moments where you do step forward, and it's trying to make sure it's on the surest footing that you can get in the game and that you feel confident with. Because sitting back waiting for the opponent to attack can cause you problems if the opponent knows exactly what you're attempting to do. So you'll end up squishing yourself and you won't have any space for your pieces to maneuver. They're hitting the pawn. We can go on castle. I think probably going castling seems fairly straightforward to me. That would be my first thought. Also getting the bishop out, because there's nothing hitting our king at the minute, so it does develop a piece. Or we could just go castle, like we said. I think castling seems okay. Bringing the bishop's not going to give us too much problems. It can take, we take. Could get arty, couldn't they? Taking the knight, taking the pawn, bishop takes, queen takes. Ooh, queen takes, then it's on the pawn. Yeah, little shifty maneuvers like that, that won't work for us, will it? From there, it takes. Thinking we're taking here, the queen takes. And then if we take, the queen takes. It's got a check on, and it's also got the bishop, but the bishop can come back. They'll be +1, won't they? Because they will have got a pawn. I think we're just going castling. Yeah, in a normal, different situation that would work. It's not going to work. So they've castled. Okay, so bringing the rook here, just doing a non-move. Don't think we're doing the bishop move because of that. So if we bring the rook here first, and then if we are going to go with this, then there's not going to be any more of this knight taking with the queen doing fancy maneuvers. So I'm in order for me to remind myself, excuse me, that's me tunnel visioning again on that particular process of getting this bishop here and focusing on that area. So what we need to do now is just knock it on the head. We've covered it. It's not going to happen because the rook is defending this area. So let's forget that now. Just see what the opponent's going to do. It looks like they're sitting waiting for us to make mistakes, that type of stuff. They don't look too explosive or anything. They may just go for a small mamby-pamby rook move themselves. No, they've gone for an attack. Interesting time, so they want more pawns in the centre. Might still work out for us, but just keep it simple. Let's take. I'm not overthinking that. Just brings more pawns in the centre, but with the end game opening type thought process that we've got going, what we're thinking about. can go either way with it. It's not any specific type thing. You could highlight all of these areas and say that they potentially are weak. It's not a specific science in any way, shape or form. It's just an idea of, well, the king is there, so all these spaces around the king are kind of weak because the king is supporting them. Okay, so what's our next move? I mean, the pawn's got no protection here. We can't get to it. Bishop can come out like we said. I think he's going to move, but it's not the same problem anymore. Changing, takes. What about attacking the pawn here with the bishop? Tunnel visioned on this bishop. What about doing this? Because they always attack the b pawn. Yep. Moves his knight out of the way. Not going to take. Moves his knight. Take. Queen takes. I'm just bringing the bishop out. King's looking a bit lonely, but there's nothing attacking it at the minute. But it is giving them a pathway to come towards our king, isn't it? Yeah, okay. It's a 30-minute, 10-second game, so it's proper classical game. Well, not full-on classical, because it's like 90 minutes and something, isn't it, for a normal classical thing? But there's enough time to... So they do actually move the knight. I think we're just keeping it simple, just grabbing the bishop. So at this point we have options. Well, I think I've got options. Queen coming here. Because we've given them the pathway to come in and attack. Queen coming here, giving them something to think about. Nothing major. I think the queen's going there just to see what's going to happen. Probably a small pawn move, because they are waiting for us to overextend with their tired little sitting waiting game. I don't class this as an overextension. This is like a baiting request to say, well, what are you actually planning to do? Make them do something that they didn't really want to do. Might even go for an exchange with the queen. Doubt that though. The queen's in. Looks like he's attacking this pawn here. Sitting waiting. We can just defend it quite easily. Don't think there's anything to worry about. We will just be bringing the rook here. Just defending. So that's the type of thing I'm talking about. Sitting waiting for you to overextend or something or the other like that. Lazy man's chess. I class it as. That sounds like an annoying beeper. Beep, 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 beep. What have we got? Still waiting for them to do stuff so I can react and see where we're going with any of this. We haven't got the rooks in. We've done these moves to basically generate a reaction from them. Especially bringing the bishop here. We knew it was going to open the pathway for them to attack our king area. But because we knew their style right from the very beginning, which was sitting waiting for us to overextend, they weren't going to open anything up. They would have been doing a mini stone wall, inching pawns down a little bit at a time. So what we've done is we've gone, right, okay, here's the red flag, come on, attack it, and made space. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it works to our benefit. I think in quite a lot of games, I tend to want to do that because the more lockdown it is, it's really quite dry, and then you can lose out from the smallest, tiniest of moves when it is in those lockdown things, from the pawn breaks, etc. So at least I feel I've managed the attack zone that the opponent is coming towards. We've created that pathway for them. Might sound weird, but that's what we have done this game. And we're trying to be patient. We're not rushing the opponent. We're eyeing up the board. We're looking at the potential maneuvers for their next position. So now that this is gone, they're probably going to be looking to get their knight in the game. Something like attacking the pawn here. Oh, it's gone for an exchange. I did not expect that. Did not expect that. I thought they would have gone and done something a bit more fancy. Which suggests to me that they may be a bit fearful, although they might be overconfident with the pawns. Sorry, the pawns, the cluster of pawns they've got in the centre. Maybe they're thinking, right, we can do something with this cluster. They've got double pawn here. They can make it work for them. Take. I've been trying to train myself as well to not take the queens off the board. It's so hard though, because I'm just thinking, well, you know, on this, if I bring the queen anywhere else, where am I going to go? Ooh. I think we're just taking the queen off the board. I don't want to get too arty, but I have been saying, based on the open, in the open tournaments that I've been playing over the board, there was one particular game where exchanging the queen was wrong, and I should have just taken. It was more to the end game, and I should have taken with the pawn. So in that situation, it might be slightly different. Just eyeing up, coming back, and trying to resist taking. Do I resist taking? The mantra was built so that I don't rule the day, that I don't make the necessary moves. And in our mantra, it's trade the queens if you get the opportunity to do so, and it's to your benefit. I've got the opportunity to take it, I'm taking it. I'm just thinking if I try and get too fancy, I'm going to lose out. Alright, so they've taken with the rook. And start pushing our pawn. If I was doing a fast game, I'd just push this just to push it and get this here like this. But then it's probably going to have this, but we do have this, but then it does have. What's my knight doing? It has to mean something. Maybe just this. I'm going to go with the original move. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to do this. I don't know if there's any of this rook doubling here. This pawn's weak. It will be targeted. I may do a rook rover type thing. But the knight definitely will be coming here. So if you did do this, you'd have like 2 pieces on that pawn. In the back of my head, I'm trying to get rid of this cluster of pawns. Whether that happens or not, because he does have this, like we covered it in the earlier part of the calculation. That's my bigger picture concern, these cluster of pawns here. It's actually gone for doubling, so we could do this, and like we said, he's probably going to do all this business. That's, and we've got the knight coming back around, making some space, maybe to fight off these pawns. These pawns are concerning me. I think bringing the knight first out of the picture. I mean, his knight, like I said, can still come here, attack this pawn. Probably what they're going to do. Push. Take, maybe the take. Push past. Interesting. So, sitting waiting again for the opponent. I'm not wanting to over calculate too much in any way, shape, because it ends up being my tunnel vision. I think this, just doing this, attacking the pawn, push. But I don't know what they're going to do, so I'm not going to waste any more energy over it. This feels like an over the board type of game, playing position and everything, the captures, the movements. And, oh, the knight, I knew it. I knew it. I had that feeling in my water they were going to do that. So it's good when you feel that you're in the game and you're almost in sync with the opponent, because then it makes the calculation worthwhile. And we said we were going to push the pawn. That was our initial calculation, pushing the pawn. If they take, we take. I'll take a look at that when it happens. If it takes, yeah, takes. The rook can take, we can take back. This knight's got dance ability here, attacking the pawns. So it doesn't look too bad for us. Still eyeing up this little cluster here, thinking that it's better than ours, but it really isn't, because they've got a double pawn here. The problem with double pawn, well, the benefits to a double pawn is you can have like a replication pawn for when captures are being taken, and then you can end up getting a pass pawn. So that's the plus side to them. But the negative side is that the extra pawn that you may have had if you were +1 or whatever really isn't +1. And so the amount of pawns they've got on this board, just say -1 because it's doubled at this moment in time, not linked. So I did all that talking just to make sure that I'm happy with this pawn push. In my head, while I was doing all the talking, I was covering off, okay, I've made the move. Is there a better move? Yep. Was that annoying thing of putting it down and go, oh, I could have done this. I'm getting quite tired of it. I'm never going to get rid of it, obviously, but I'm trying my best to get rid of Devil Finger as best possible. Devil Finger's been with me for donkey's years. And it comes back in different veins. But it's never going to disappear. We can lessen the impact so we can enjoy the games a bit more. So then we'll have a higher level Devil Finger. But we're assuming the taking. Could do like a preempt, because it's not going to hurt us if we do. I'd say they could potentially push past, thinking, well, they've got the double pawns. I think they're going to try and be arty. I think they're going to push the pawn. Seeing as they're taking this length of time, I think they're going to push the pawn, because they're thinking, well, we've got these two pawns here. Let's see if we can get them working against this one pawn as part of their endgame. Because we are in endgame now at this point in time. They push. It's not even pushing. The knight's moved. Oh, I'm out of sync. I'm out of sync. I'm not in sync with them. Ooh. Not sure what that is though, really. Do that. It brings the pawn back in line, which is what they're wanting. So we'll try and avoid doing that. Push. Knight can jump here, attacking this pawn. Instinct is going to drop here. Drop there. Although the knight is supporting this pawn. Takes. Oh, look at that position. Oh. Although we're not going to get it. We'll get two pawns. No, we'll get one pawn. So it'll be even Stevens, won't it? Oh, nice, 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 nice. We'll do a bit of fancy business. Takes. We jump here, we've got a fork. The thing I'm just concerned about is he takes. And we take. And he takes. Take. He's here attacking this pawn. Don't want to go further than 4 moves, you know. That's like 4 moves, isn't it? 1, 2, 3. No, 3 moves. Potential for grabbing here. That might be. Is that too arty? Is it too arty? For probably just pushing the pawn first and then doing that, but then he's not going to take, is he? We're hitting 2 pawns with the knight. I think though we push in here, they may get some science and they may push here and stop the knight from jumping in. I don't think it's bad for us, you know, jumping the knight in here, because we are attacking 2 pieces. If they don't take, we can take one of the pieces off either way. Their knight doesn't look like it's... Oh, it's got a bit of a situation here, hasn't it? So it could attack our rook. We can move the rook. We'll have those 2 pieces, the rook's on there. I think we're jumping the knight in. I don't think it looks too negative for us. Because they'll grab a pawn, we grab a pawn. But even Steven. Don't even need to take anyway. Don't even need to take, we can just take the rook off the board first. And then we've got a fork anyway attacking here. He is a bit close towards our king area though, so it might get a little bit tense. It does have take, well, yeah, we'll have that. What I need to do now is look away from the screen for a bit and not find anything else, because it looks like it's pretty even Stevens. Although I do feel like there's a slight benefit with us grabbing a few more pawns. But he does grab. I don't think we're going to jump here now. I think we can jump here, take the rook. His rook takes. They are close to our king, but I don't think there's any matey type. We take, attacking their rook. The rook can come across and attack our pawns. We can defend before we take this pawn. Or would we take this pawn first? Then that would release that pawn, so we wouldn't do. I wouldn't want to do that. They'll double their pawns here. They have taken. I'm going to take. I'm not going to dilly-dally. This one may have lost us a little bit of tempo in terms of development. So we're plumped for taking the rook. And then we can jump up and grab the pawn. But let's not rush it. Let's have a look at the picture. Is it better taking this one? Because then if they take... Or is it better taking this one to be on this pawn? That's the question. Or do we just attack the rook and get the rook out of the way altogether? That's another question. Right, so that might be the better way to go. Bring the rook here, attacking their rook. Takes, takes, but then his knight does get a check on our king. The knight. And then he is going to be attacking our pawn. We're going to get time to... Is he going to come back and be able to defend these pawns? His king coming here. Probably get that one. I think it's the rook coming and attacking rather than going for the pawns. Take one, it's attacking the rook. Rook can come down, attack our pawn. We're greedy munching for another pawn. Takes our pawn. We take this pawn, his knight takes that. Bit messy, doesn't it? Going to attack the rook. Going to attack the rook. See, they're +1, but we're thinking we're going to be able to grab them back. Somehow. Some miracle. Actually captured. Going to take and just capture. We've got a fork on this pawn, I've got a fork on this pawn. Not really a fan of getting the knight trapped, so I think they'll probably come and do this one. Got a pawn majority here, and this one's a double pawn, so you'll want to save this live one. You would assume, yeah. Let's grab. King's jammed in, the knight is there. Do we have any other fancy business with our knights? Not really. King's probably going to come and block us off. Trap us. Ideally, come round, attack the pawn, he keeps dropping down. Yeah, it's that spot, just dropping us off. So I'm going to have to go like that. I'm going to have to bring it around. But he's going to just block us into. So we're going to get no transfers. Okay. Jump in here, we just put the check on us. It's giving us a bit of time to move, so we'll do this, but like we said, the pawn's just going to hit. Again, we're coming here, we're getting trapped still because we can't move here. Can't move there, doubles pawns. It'd be attacking the pawn, he's just inching down a bit at a time. Attack the pawn. Do have a check on the king, can swing back around again. But they're just advancing up the board. So we attack it when he just advances. Attack it again, he just advances. Seems a bit of a waste. Put the check, bring the knight around. Could even attack this pawn, but it's going to be a bit of a waste, really. We could come here, look to attack their knight. Does the knight take? King takes. He's got pawn majority on this side. We've got pawn majority on that side. Has come down, so it's avoided any further checks. So I'm going to attack the pawn and then attack the knight. I don't think they're going to exchange the knight, but we'll see. Their king is a little bit more advanced than our king. But if they do go for the exchange, then at least we're here. So they have attacked us. Anything else beforehand? No, let's continue with that plan. Actually, I don't think they're going to exchange. No, go back something. Nice if they did, but well, maybe it's not nice. Maybe they've got a magical. I'm feeling my pawns are okay-ish on this side, and we've got the king that could act as a blocker on this side. Could nicely be a draw. I don't think they're going to go for a draw though. The knight's jumping back here. Well, let's do the preemptive anyway, just in case. There's no rush. 10-second increment. Seeing as they're taking the time, I think they're just going back. Either they're in there or there. But I think they want to be attacking our pawns with their... Oh, he's advancing his king. In my head, instantly I just thought, that doesn't make a difference. Because our king should be able to support our pawns. So we should just be able to take it off the board and just move the king up. Trying not to overthink this situation now. So we've got a king acting as a pawn, blocking these pawns here, and we do have one pawn extra on the other side. And envisage this type of maneuver, trying to get the support for, I don't know, maybe, and then getting this here and then hitting the king somehow. It's hitting the king. I don't know, they want this pawn to be the passer really, don't they? So expect a non-move from any of these here. Might not even move these pawns. Might just leave them like this until the deathly end where they... Oh, look at that. Like I said, let's expect a non-move. But is there something I can do? His king is so close that I might just be wasting. We did this, then he's got this type of stuff, and then if we push, then he's got this. That's not much, I suppose, because then we can do this. I'm going to do this. Like I said, I'm not moving. I feel like I don't want to move these pawns until I have to absolutely necessarily move them. Trying to get into my over the board thinking psychology. Whether it works or not, I don't know, but I'm feeling I'm not moving them this time because I'm always pushing. When it gets to the end game, I'm always pushing the pawns up, pushing them and pushing them up. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that because you're supposed to get them up there. Higher up you can get them in the end game. It's a plus. In this sort of position, I'm thinking from my past experience, I've always been pushing and then I lose out in tempo wise somewhere. So I'm not moving them. Taking, he takes, and it's still the same sort of situation. The king's just moving to the side. I said I was going to push past. I still can push past. Yep, so push, and then we're expecting this pawn to push down, but maybe they're not going to do that. Maybe they're going to do this. Because then when we take, then he's got a passer. And it's the same case if we did take, if we captured, comes here, he'll still do this potentially then. Interesting situation. Or we can just leave it like that, and if they take, but he's still got a passer anyway. A push pass. So that's what they're looking for. They're looking for this one to be a passer. It's just I think our king can stay there. It's just that then his king can start moseying all over, and we have to babysit this pawn because it's a passer. Well, they've gone the way that I didn't think they were going to do. Okay, so their king is probably looking to come round here to grab the pawn. So we're going to just do this with the king. So they may push actually. We can take with a check on the king. Can't necessarily get to that pawn. I don't think they'll do that though. Will they? We take. Got to check on the king. He has to move. Move across. And then he pushes the pawn down. We come across. No, I don't do that. If they're looking like, oh, I'm going to come and get this, that gives us space to move our king here. And then his king can't go in there. Thought they would have gone the other way, which would have probably caused us some problems because, like I said, we would have been sat babysitting pawn, last pawn. Hit that. Don't have to take, like we said, I'll just probably push him past or take, he takes, got a pass pawn, our king's not going anywhere. Remember, going for a pawn move. I did say I wasn't moving these pawns, but now does that make us a bit different? Do we have a flyer? If we pushed, he takes. Not good for them, but I don't think they're going to take. Push. Drops down. And we push. Might be some activity there. I think he's banking on the fact that this is going to be opening this up and his king's going to come across and take all my pawns off. He does take, and did say I was going to come here. King comes across. Push. Cross. It's a timing thing, see, because my pawns are so far down and he'll have a passer on this side. If I'm thinking I'm going to be clever, come here, 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 he's already got a pawn that's going to come down. Let's take. He comes across. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. It's that same principle. If I'm coming here, he can come down and gobble these pawns up. Yeah, which he's doing. So if I move here, then he just drops. And then this pawn's a passer and it's gone. Damn it. Do the count. 1. Yeah, this pawn is going to go flying. We could push this. Goes down. We push. And he's behind the pawn, so he's not stopping it. But he may go running up and blocking it that way. And I can't do anything about it. I have to get these pawns first before anything else. I'm hoping I'm fast enough, but he goes up, we go up. He goes up, we take. Comes across. No, in fact, no. No, he's going to push the pawn, isn't he? Because then he can come across. What am I on about? I'm going to push the pawn so that I have to take. He takes. Push. He comes up. Oh, he's not. He's not. So it does give us time. There's no point pushing it because we aren't going to be fast enough. Oh, I thought they would have done the pawn push. I think now we should be okay. This is definitely one to analyse at the end. I'm not saying I've won though, because he may do something that I'm not expecting. I think he can still do that, but at least now we're here, we can get rid of these pawns. His king's going to be on the other side of the board, so we should be able to gain an advantage with the pawns we've got now. Oof. He's still going. Take. Yeah, job done. The job is done. Be careful now. Keep the mouse over here. He's not taking this because he's going to be behind the pawn. Yeah, at last. There we go, takes. Push. Getting further and further away from his pieces. Look at the back part. Oh, flash through it. Captured. Yeah, we talked through all of that. Yeah, so that's all a good story. For me, it was more looking at the end game. Ooh, let's have a look at this stuff. This was where we felt we were getting a bit fancy, but we did see this. Ah, a bit of an advantage. That's good. That's good. Rook comes down to take. We captured. Lightest of advantages. Ooh, it's saying take the pawn. Options and choices we had, didn't we? But I felt like just getting rid of the rook. And they took the pawn, captured. Oh, he's got draw land. Yeah. Took the pawn. Wait a minute, let's just go back. So we went to attack the rook, but then they didn't. So we could have just taken the pawn with the knight. Oh. Yeah, that's an obvious move. So again, that tunnel vision of, okay, we may as well just get the rook off the board because we're feeling okay. But that would have been slightly better because we gained. Anyway, we took it and we took a pawn. And we were feeling that this was giving us a good balance, but it's not, because then we realised really our knight looks like it could get trapped. But that wasn't the best. So I think that knight taking the pawn would have been better. Oh. Damn. Rationalising that our king is supporting our pawns on this side, and we weren't looking to move these pawns. So it's minus naught, but it's minus for them. So they're actually winning in a small way, and they're winning big now. So this was where I thought they were going to do this type of thing to get a pass pawn. I'm not saying it's right or not, but because if I push here and I'm babysitting this pawn, and then maybe his king can start moving over, supporting their attack coming down, and we can't really fight against that because we can't move our king. So that was the downside to that position. So I didn't think we were winning at this point. If they had used that type of maneuver, we would have been in. But seeing this one, I'd covered that off already in my calculation, thinking, oh, if they did do that, then all we have to do is sit the king here, and it's fairly safe for us at this point. So at least I got that calculation right, and I got the other one right as well. If they had played the right move, then we would have been in trouble. That, yeah, shouldn't have been in that position in the first place though, because the knight and the rook situation, if that was done a little bit better, we would have been advantageous earlier on in the game. Good thing to note. I need all this sort of practice for the over the board open tournaments coming up. Well, a few more months yet, but gotta get that practicing. So thankfully they did that, and they started pushing the pawns, and now we can weave a little pretty pattern for ourselves. Yep, so that wasn't even deadly for them. I'm thinking, oh, they're going to just hit the pawn and stuff and all that business, and we're going to lose tempo. But we wanted to be able to get across here. Their king would have to get into that activity, so they would be losing the pawns. So really, we don't need to lose any sleep over that type of thing. But we shouldn't be put in that type of situation. But it's the fight back, you know. It's being able to at least take advantage of the disadvantage that the opponent's given to themselves. At that point then it's a pretty safe sailing.